do my delphiniums.
Oh, no. You go on without me. I have some serious thinking to do. I'll just stay here.
But the buzzer buzzed. One must obey orders.
May I ask why you're doing that, Mrs. Savage?
Oh, I believe in wearing the carpet out even.
Oh, how prudent! I'm going to help you.
Oh, but don't you have to garden?
Oh, this is much more constructive.
I'll help too. We must all do our share.
I didn't mean to start a procession.
Come, boys. Many feet make hard work.
Well, why not? It's a refreshing change. Most women lead us in circles.
Come on, Mrs. Savage, we'll find you.
I feel like the Pied Piper.
Jeffrey, you step on leaves, Animal can have buds, Mrs. Savage can have roses, and the rest of us will walk on thorns. Do you know what you're doing, Miss Gray?
Wearing out the carpet evenly.
Oh, someone told you, did they?
Didn't I hear the buzzer ring garden hour?
I didn't hear it. I think it must be broken.
Fairy,
Yeah.
aren't you ashamed?
Oh, I wish I was dead. Oh.
I'm afraid this is my fault, Miss Willie.
I didn't feel like gardening anyhow.
But you worked so hard with your flowers. Do you want them to die, Florence?
I don't want anything to die.
Oh, that's true. Florence wouldn't hurt to fly. She catches them and puts them out the window. Flies simply adore her.
Well, I think we better go out to the garden now. Fairy, you can share your seeds with Mrs. Savage. Aren't you going with them?
I would like to speak to you alone.
All right. What can I do for you?
A great deal. And I think I could do a great deal for you, too.
Are you about to offer me a bribe, Mrs. Savage?
How did you guess?
Everyone does at first.
Still, mine's a little different. I have the money. I'll give you $20,000 if you leave that door open tonight. $30,000.
Don't you like us, Mrs. Savage?
Now that's the most irritating answer to a sound business offer, my dear. $40,000. You could be free of this place too.
But I don't want to be free of it.
$50,000. You could travel the world. See Mandalay, Cairo, the South Pacific.
But I've seen Mandalay, Cairo, and the South Pacific.
You have?
I had 4 years as an army nurse.
Still, you could do a lot with $50,000.
Now, where would you get $50,000, Mrs. Savage? That's a fortune.
Never mind, I can get it. Still, in the current idiom, 50,000 is peanuts.
Oh, I believe you. But I'm afraid I'll have to refuse.
Then you give me no choice than to burn the place down.
Oh, you wouldn't do that.
Oh, yes, I would.
Too many people here wouldn't know how to save themselves. You'd think of them first.
If you think I belong here, why are you appealing to my reason?
I wasn't. I was appealing to your emotions.
Well, I'm going to get out soon enough. It's just that bribing you would have been cheaper. Now, it'll cost me a couple million at least.
Good morning, Dr. Emmett.
Good morning. Is Mrs. Savage downstairs?
She just now went to the garden.
What was her state of mind this morning?
The usual pattern. She already offered me a bribe.
What did she offer you?
$50,000, the highest yet.
She sounds confident.
Definitely manic. She talked as if she still controlled her own affairs.
Apparently she still does. Read this.
I've just spoken to her children, and they're practically out of their minds themselves. Senator's leaving Washington at once. He'll pick up his sister in New York and the judge in Boston, and they should be here by tonight.
This is the most amazing story I've ever read. When did they discover it?
I got her this morning. They asked me to confine her to her room.
I don't understand it. How could she get away with so much money?
It seems her husband left the entire estate to her, and she's been secretly selling out control ever since.
$10 million. That's a typographical error, isn't it?
Oh, no, they had it all right.
But what could she have done with it?
As her son says, God knows.
Could she have spent it?
I doubt it. Would you call her, please? I'd better tell her what to expect.
Yes. Mrs. Savage, Dr. Emmett would like a word with you. Are you going to place her in seclusion?
Oh, of course not. Sometimes I wish there was a way of placing the relations in seclusion. They're always more trouble than the patients.
Do you think she knows what happened to the money?
If she does, she's the only one.
Do you think there's a method in her madness?
Miss Willie, I find it harder every day to say where reason ends and madness begins. For the moment, I have to accept the presumptive evidence of her stepchildren.
Well, from what I hear, her son's record in Congress would give any psychiatrist a nasty turn.
It certainly would. And the sensationalism of her daughter's 6 divorces doesn't speak too well of her emotional stability either.
You wanted me, Doctor?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Savage. Good morning. Miss Willie, would you help out on the switchboard? Miriam is being deluged with phone calls from newspapers.
Yes, Doctor.
Please, sit down, Mrs. Savage.
I think I know what you're going to tell me.
Oh, do you?
I see you have the morning paper. I wondered how long it would take for them to find out.
So you're aware of what you've done and of the consequences?
Oh, it's too early for consequences. May I see it?
There you are. The senator just called from Washington. We can expect them by tonight.
Indeed, we can. Well, I'm not going anywhere.
How could you possibly have spent $10 million without somebody knowing about it?
Who said I spent it?
Well, that newspaper said you did.
What do they know? I didn't spend it. I couldn't. I hid it.
You hid it.
In nice $500,000 negotiable bonds that can't be traced.
Why?
I never asked what you do with your money, Doctor.
I'm sorry this has happened, Mrs. Savage. Your hidden treasure is going to prove to be a great disadvantage to you.
That's because you're a doctor. And doctors never know the value of money.
Would you like to know how long it would take me to earn that much money?
Oh, excuse me, I came back for my violin. Fairy Man needs music while she plants her seed.
Oh. Just a minute, Hannibal. You were a statistician. How long would it take the average doctor to earn $10 million?
Oh, well, he'd have to start before the birth of Christ and work right up through the burning of Rome, up to the burning of St. John of Savonarola, with time out, of course, for the Norman Conquest, the Crusades, the 100 Years' War, the 30 Years' War, the 7 Years' War, and then he'd have to work double time right up to the discovery of America, up to bubblegum and penicillin. But that's without deducting federal tax, state tax, city tax, school tax, amusement tax, and luxury tax. You'd have to add 100 years for that.
Thank you, Hannibal. It's a great deal to be responsible for, Mrs. Savage.
What's the doctor up to?
A bit of emotional blackmail, I suspect. Hannibal, would you guess to look at me that I'm worth $10 million on the hoof?
Oh, never. Human beings contain only 20 cents worth of calcium, 5 cents worth of iodine, and 20 cents worth of potassium. Even at today's high prices, nobody's worth more than $1.50.
Oh, so you only value me at $1.50.
Oh, no. You said worth. Your value is inestimable.
Beautiful. I like you. I like you very much. You make me feel important. You make me feel like dancing.
Oh, splendid. What shall I play?
Oh, anything.
I'm very good at the flight of the bumblebee.
What could be more appropriate? The bees come home and find the honey gone.